Hey guys, what's up, Cardfight here, and today I'm here with an Angel Feather deck profile, as promised. I'm going to put this video up today, and this is a G Angel Feather deck profile, so it's using the Black Shiver Gavrial, which is one of my new waifus. It's pretty cute. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we are running the new Generation Break starting Vanguard. Black Candle Azrael. Her skill is Generation Break 1, Candle loss 1, put this card into Soul, put the top card of her deck into the damage zone, and then choose one card in your damage zone and add it to your hand. So this card's pretty good because you can just if you damage check a Perfect Guard, you can just go Candle loss 1, put this card into your the Perfect Guard into your hand, and you also have other things that you need, then you can feel free to add those to your hand too. It's pretty good. Next, we're running the star of the deck, Black Gavrial, Black Shiver Gavrial. So her skill is on Generation Break 2. If when a card is put into your damage zone during this turn, this card, all the units in your front row gets 2,000 power. So the skill stacks. So it gives herself the skill that everything gets plus 2,000 power. So if you take a crit, then everything in the front row gets 4,000 power. So it's pretty good. It's a very defensive card, so it's very good. Yeah, she's mainly good because her effect can proc on your opponent's turn. So then you can strengthen your defenses, and yeah, it's just a very useful Generation Break skill. A lot of times there's the Stride Break cards, they're Generation Break 2 skills, you don't usually use them, but this card's an exception because it activates on both turns. So yeah, and her Stride Break skill is Countless 1 during your turn. When your G unit is when you stride, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck and then choose one of them and put them in face up in your damage zone, and then put the rest of them in the bottom of your deck. And then you can choose one face up card in your damage zone and call it to a Vanguard circle, and that unit gets plus 2,000 power. So it basically turns your damage zone into a toolbox, which is what Angel Feathers is good at doing. So there's that. Very good stuff. Next, for the other grade 3, we're running the Legion Celestial card from the Legion Revival. Her skill is, when this card is in Legion, units in the front row get plus 2,000 power. And if you have a card in your damage zone with the same name as a card in your Vanguard circle, then your front row gets another plus 2k. So it boosts 4k in total. So mainly you're running this card because this deck actually goes through the deck pretty fast, so you might want to Legion some units back in. And when you run out of Counterblast, her skill is passive, so you can just get plus 4,000 power to all your units and pressure your opponent like that. Of course, her skill is also passive, but you might not be able to spam the damage zone as much if you don't have damage, so it's pretty easy, a consistent card. Second skill is, when this card attacks, if there's another unit in your front row, or in the middle column, this card gets plus 2,000 power, so it's a 14k attacker. So, yep. Also, she's pretty cute, so that's a plus. You can run Shamshell instead, but Shamshell is ugly, so I don't really want to run Shamshell. Yeah. My logic. Next, for the grade 2s, we're running 3 Black Slice Harut. Harut's skill is Generation Break 1, Counter loss 1 when this card attacks and it's being boosted. You may pay the cost. If you do, check 2 cards in your damage zone. Check the top 2 cards of your deck, and then put one of them in your damage zone, and then put the rest in the bottom of your deck, and then choose one of the cards in your damage zone and call it to a Vanguard circle. So it's pretty similar to Gabriel's Stride Break, except you're going to check 2, and it doesn't get the power boost, but still pretty useful. It helps you, definitely helps you gain some field advantage, so it's pretty good. Next, we're running 2 no seal, grade 2 no seals. Seal is when this card is placed on a rear guard circle, you hit the cost, which is put one angel feather card in your hand to the damage zone, and then you can choose a card in your damage zone and add it to your hand. So you swap a card from your hand to the damage zone, so then you can set up for other plays. Also, you can choose face up or face down cards with her skill, so you can unflip some damage using her skill. So it's pretty decent card. The downside of her is that she's 8k, but it's fine because when you get boosted by the unicorn, she'll be swinging for a decent number, so it's fine. And then you just intercept with her next turn, so it's all fine and dandy. Next, we're running 2 of the Legion Mate for this. Her skill is kind of lost 1. Put this card in the damage zone. When this card attack hits a Vanguard, you can pay the cost if you do. Choose one of your cards in your damage zone that's not this card, and call it to a rear guard circle. So I'm running this set of Legion because she doesn't require a Celestial Vanguard, and it also puts a bit of pressure on your opponent, but mainly because you want a Legion, so there's that. Also, she's pretty cute, so why not? Running 2 is enough because you mainly just want it for the Legion, and yeah. I've seen people run 1 in the Japanese decks, but 1 is a bit too inconsistent in my opinion, so 2 is fine. Next, running 4 of the new, I guess this is a generation break version of the Pegasus. Skill is generation break 1. When a card is put in the damage zone, choose one of your Vanguards, and this card, they both get plus 2k. So there's a reason. You can choose between running her or the unicorn, or the Pegasus. I mean, the thing is, Pegasus is pretty anti grade 2 rush. So if you get attacked by grade 2, he instantly becomes an 11k Vanguard, which makes everything easy to guard. But downside is he doesn't give power to Vanguard, so some people might run him instead to prevent anti-rush. This makes the Vanguard a bit scarier, but then you can't. But then her skill is Generation Break, so you will be susceptible to rushes. So yeah, you can run 1 less Harut and run 2 Pegasus instead if you want for consistency. But Pegasus is ugly, so running 4 of her. All of this is just my personal preference. I don't like running ugly cards. So, yeah. If you're playing in a tournament, you might want to make the build more, I guess, ugly. Like running Pegasus instead of running this. Or running 2 of this and then 3 of this. That also works. But I'm running 4 full on, just for the lulz. Alright, for grade 1s, I'm running 3 of the no seals. Skill is when this pretty much the same skill as this, except it's her skill activates when you activate it when you put something in the damage zone. Some people might feel her being a 5k guard is not that great, but it's actually fine if you have Gavrial, since if you get hit already, then she becomes a 13k Vanguard, and then 5k guard is actually pretty easy to guard, so yeah. Run 3 Stride Enablers. Yeah, and you can search out for Gabriel if you want it, so yeah. Next, we're running 4 grade 1 Pegasus. 1000 rate Pegasus. Skill is when a card is put in your damage zone, this card gets plus 2000 power. So it's also kind of anti-rush. It's good. Also, forms nice columns with this chick. So, yep. Pro guard's running 4 Pro Guard G. You use a lot of counter blast, so unflipping is quite nice. triggers, we're running 8 crit, 4 draw. This draw has an effect. It activates in the damage zone. You can flip this card in your damage zone to give your Vanguard plus 3,000 power. So, don't know if you want to use it or not, but yeah. Next, we have 4 heal triggers. This is the Losange Magus clone. So when you boost with it at the end of the battle phase, during your end phase, I mean, she goes back into your deck. So yeah, but when she boosts, she gets 3,000 power, so she's a 6k booster. You might want to use it, but you might not want to use it. It's really up to you. Alright, for the G zone, we're running 1 Blizza. Blizza is pretty good because you can activate Gavrial's Generation Brick 2 really fast if you use it for Stride. If you Stride, use a skill, you'll automatically have Generation Brick 2, so you'll be pretty defensive on your opponent's turn already. So one Blizza. Next, we're running one of the Celestial Strides. Skill is kind of last one. If you have a Celestial Heart, then you can choose a card in your damage. Put 1 card from your deck to the damage zone, and then choose 1 card in your damage zone and call it to your Vanguard circle. If you have a card in your damage zone with the same name as a card in your heart, then the called unit gets plus 1,000 power. So mainly, you're using her if you can't ride into Gavrial for some reason, then you'll probably stride into her. But for the most part, if you stride into Blizza first, you'll flip her for his skill. Because his skill is counts 1, choose 1 card in your G zone and flip it face up, and then this card gets plus 1,000 power for every face up card in your G zone. So yeah, really depends on what your first grade 3 is. You really want to ride her first, but if you can't, then it's okay. Next, we're running 1 Uriel. Her skill is when this card attack hits, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then put it in your damage zone, and then you can choose a card in your damage zone. Basically, it's the grade 2 or lower card in your damage zone and call it to your Vanguard circle, and that card's plus 1,000 power. It's basically Gavrial except on hit, and it doesn't cost any Counter Blast. So, yep. Next, we're running the rare in the Angel Feather in the newest booster. Skill is so last 2. When this card is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, put all the cards in your damage zone back into your deck, and then for every card in your damage zone that was put back in your deck, put a card in your damage zone for every card that you had. So basically, you refresh your damage, and then you just top deck all the damage back face up, so you have all the Counter Blasts to use again. It pumps your Nurse of Broken Heart and your Pegasus a lot. So if you have something that feel like this, and you write this, so last 2, this gets plus 10k, this gets plus 10k, and your Vanguard gets plus 10k because of the Nurse of Broken Heart. It's pretty strong. Pretty strong combo. Also very good at, refreshing damage. So he's actually a pretty useful card. Next, we're running 4 Raphaels. Skill is once per turn, Generation Brick 2. Choose a card in your in your G zone called the little Raphael, and flip it face up, and then you can heal 1 damage. So obviously she's pretty clutch. Heals you so you can potentially take an extra hit. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Again, this build is the way I like it. It's using the art that I like. But, you know, of course there's people that don't want to run stuff that I'm running in this deck. For example, some people don't like to run this card. And some people might prefer running a balanced ratio of Pegasus and Nurse of Broken Hearts. So yeah, it's all personal preference. But yeah, this deck is pretty strong. It's very defensive. It's pretty good at turtling. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Kartaku, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!